Okay, let me see what time it is. Perfect. It's 12:30, so we'll finish around 1:15. Mm-hmm. All right. Awesome.
Oh, and that'll give us like an entire hour before I have to go. That'll be neat.
Yeah. So my hands are covered, which is good for you.
Too.
So I think we met about 2 weeks ago. How have the last 2 weeks been for you?
They've been kind of up and down, actually. It was quite unfortunate. I missed my counseling session this week, this past week, which was fairly upsetting. Not too bad because I wasn't super feeling well because I was very tired because my sleep schedule is still all flip-flopped. But I had my appointment at 10:30, and I had set my alarm for 9 so I could get up and leave by 9:30 because it takes me about an hour to get to my marsh. And then Bubba comes into my room. Jessica, what time is your appointment? 10:30. You know it's 10:16. Shit. Yeah.
So do you think like your sleeping problems is why you've been oversleeping?
Yeah.
Because you're not sleeping well at night?
Yeah, I definitely think that. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But like for some reason, like it gets to a point where at night I know I need to go to sleep, but then for some reason I just don't want to. You know, I don't know what it is. It's like I kind of put off going to sleep. I'm tired. I know I'm tired. You know, and then I just don't know what it is. And just something stops me from actually laying down and going to sleep. And I don't know.
So how much sleep are you usually getting each night?
Well, it's more to say each morning, but generally at least 7 to 8 hours. So it's a good bit of sleep. It's just not when I would like it.
Right. Maybe you need to just adjust the schedule.
Yeah.
To be
it's just a little difficult when I get home at 10. And I don't like going to sleep right away after I get off of work. Because I kind of feel like I need to, wind down a bit.
Right.
And I have to eat when I get home. And so, I get off work at 10. I don't even get home until 10. We normally don't get home till like probably 10:45. And then so by the time I eat or make Bubba something to eat and eat myself and like do whatever else needs to be done, a lot of times it's already like 12:30. And I'm like, well, shit. But then if my sorry, I got the hiccups. If my shift the next day isn't until like 1 or 2 or 3, it's like, well, really don't have to go to bed yet. I should go to bed, like get up in the morning, get some shit done that I need to get done. But then, it like gets to the morning when I've, optimistically set my alarm for 9 o'clock in the morning. And then it's like, yeah, that doesn't happen. Because like, before I know it, I've been up until 3. And I'm like, well, shit, I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. And then like finally at 4:30, I'll like lay down. Last night, I was able to get myself to sleep at, laying down at like 3. So I definitely should have been able to get up on time when I set my alarm for 10, because it's about 7 hours. But once the light starts shining in, even when I have my hat on my face, it's kind of hard to stay asleep, go back to sleep. And then my dreams were just not fun last night.
What kind of dreams did you have?
Well, it wasn't like, I wouldn't say a nightmare, But I was, like, constantly worried for my sister. Like, we thought she was missing for a bit, like she wasn't home because her car wasn't outside. And then somehow we had all forgotten that her car was like wrecked or something happened to it, and she had a new car. And so then she was upstairs when we were like freaking out. And then it was like really slick and windy and slippery outside, and I can't remember where we were, but she went to walk outside and it was raining.
Hey, I'm working on an assignment right now.
We're on the assignment.
Okay, thanks.
I guess Walt didn't catch her in time.
No worries. It's fine.
Yeah. And like they were like the automatic sliding doors, you know, like stores and stuff. And I just was stopping someone from going out, and I heard her like scream, and I looked over and she had slipped and fallen, and like we were able to pull her inside and everything. And then she, oh gosh, I just remember she hurt her foot really badly. And like it was bleeding, and there was like these huge bruise right here, and I felt really bad for her because she is a super klutz. She's like us. She's like my mom and me, you know, like we're really klutzy. And so like there were just a bunch of different things happening that made me worry about my sister and made me scared, and so they were just all that going on. It wasn't helping me sleep,
Right.
which was unfortunate.
Well, I bet that you're really looking forward to seeing her in December.
I am.
It's nice.
I am looking forward to seeing her. It's going to be nice, and I'm looking forward to seeing my dad and my stepmom too, and my friends that I'm going to be able to see. And I knew I was going to miss them, but I didn't actually realize how much I was going to miss our dogs. And I miss our dogs, and I was so excited to go see them, and they're absolutely going to flip because I am Charlotte's third favorite person. I know that sounds weird, but I'm her third favorite person.
Okay.
And her first favorite person is my Nana, my stepmom's mom. Because Nana spoils her rotten. She just loves Nana. And then after that, it's Brandy, my stepmom. And she's like always around Brandy and everything when she's there. Because she just likes being around Brandy. And then after that, it's me. So like she'll always like being with me or Brandy when we're home. She also like cuddling with Papa. But yeah, she still sometimes does this, which is sad because it's been almost a year. But when I would be home, like when I still lived there, Dad and Brandy and the kids and everything left in the morning to go to work and everything. And so Chase, our the older dog, he would always wait outside my door for me to wake up, and then I would wake up and let him and Charlotte out to go to the bathroom and everything, and then I'd have to put them back in. But other than that, like I would leave my door open, like when it was me at home not getting ready for work and stuff, and Charlotte and Chase would sit at the top of the stairs outside my bedroom door and like look down the stairs. And then Charlotte would come inside my room and hang out with me for a bit, and she'd go back out and lay down. And whenever they were out, like for the weekend or like spending a night elsewhere, I would be the one to watch Charlotte and Chase, and I would leave my door open for Chase to come in and out as he wanted. And then Charlotte would sleep on my bed with me, and she's such a brat. Like I mean, she's a really good, sweet dog, but she doesn't like kids, and so she's kind of a brat. She won't bite him or anything. Like, she doesn't bite, but she'll kind of growl at him, you know. She'll, and I miss her, and I miss him too. And like when I'm on the phone with them, sometimes Charlotte will hear my voice, and it's sad. Like sometimes she'll like get really excited and everything, and so we'll chase. And yeah, I'm excited to see them.
That'll be really nice.
Yeah. And my sister and I were actually on the on Facebook Messenger the other day, and she was with her cat, Blue Shiny Ball.
Very interesting name.
Yes. Have you ever watched Futurama?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the alien race of cat people, the name that they call Earth is Blue Shiny Ball.
Okay.
So that's what they named him. Blue Shiny Ball. So we just call him Blue or Blue. But I used to cuddle with him and everything when I would visit with her, and he could hear my voice, and he came towards the phone and everything to kind of see if it was me, and that was kind of cute.
Aww.
That was nice.
It's kind of sad though.
Yeah, it's sad.
They don't understand. Wait, where are you?
I know, it is sad. It's like my mom, my cat lives with my mom, and he's my cat because while I was living there, he became my cat. You know, I was his person. And he's my baby. His name is Spooky Kitty. And so when I go visit my mom, I try to go see her for 2 weeks, which is not going to happen now because I actually have a full-time job that I won't be able to get like 2 weeks of vacation. It's already weird enough that they're letting me have a week in December, but since I had planned it before I got the position, my boss was understanding. But so for like the first week, he'll follow me around everywhere. Like he won't let me out of his sight. He'll always be like trying to sit on me, or like when I sit down on the floor to put on my shoes, he's just kind of like walking in and out of my shoes, you know, just kind of like he'll follow me. He'll just look at me waiting for me to bend down and cuddle with him and things like that. And then like the next week, he'll finally be comfortable enough with me being there to not like be attached to me the whole time. And so he'll like sit on the other side of the room and stuff like he normally would, and kind of curl up in the sun and or outside because he's an outside cat. And he just is comfortable with me being there again. And then I disappear again. I feel so bad. Yeah. You know, like he finally gets used to having me home and then I'm gone. Yeah. Just makes me so sad. But, you know, like my mom says, the first week after, like the first like couple of weeks or so after I'm gone, he still looks for me everywhere. And then like Charlotte, the dog in Texas, she still sits outside my bedroom door sometimes, waiting for me to come out.
Oh, sweet.
I know, it's so sweet, but so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chase and Charlotte still wait for me, and I'm excited to see them because one, I love them a lot, and two, they're gonna flip. It's gonna be so cool. I was gone for 2 weeks to go visit my mom, and when I got home, they both flipped out and like jumping all over me and everything, and it was nice. And then so like me being gone for so long, I'm kind of wondering how it's gonna be, but I'm gonna be so excited to see them.
That's nice.
Yeah.
How has your mood been lately?
My mood, actually, it's been fairly, I won't say stable, because, like, you know, it's still ups and downs and everything, but it's stable for being bipolar. You know, like, it's just kind of normal reactions and everything. I'm not depressed or manic or anything. I'm worried about Bubba, because he might be starting to get manic. He's been depressed for a while. and I still want him to call his doctor.
Right.
But
is he still taking his medication?
Yeah, he still takes his medication.
Okay.
But, I mean, you know, your chemistry still changes even when you do
right.
take medication.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
And it might just be that the dose isn't right. Or
yeah.
The medication could be changed, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Probably just needs, like, an adjustment or something, you know. Mm-hmm. But he called his doctor last time and told her that he was having problems sleeping, so she told him to take another melatonin. I'm like, you didn't tell her that you were feeling depressed? You just told her you were having trouble sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck's wrong with you? And I just wanted to, like, smack him upside the head, but I won't do that. Because he's in enough pain as it is.
Right.
I might pinch him.
Sorry. That's all right.
Yeah, so... just...
Yeah, I can tell that you're very worried about him.
Yeah, I just don't want him to, like, start getting super depressed. And I mean, we talked last night, and that my boss, we've been really short-handed and everything at work, so he hasn't had time to normally do the schedule as far as he would, because they're still trying to hire people and everything. But hopefully when they get people hired, he'll be able to start doing schedules out a couple of weeks in advance like he had been. Mm-hmm. Because now it's kind of like on a week-to-week basis. Like, I generally don't get my schedule for the next week until like Thursday or Friday. Mm-hmm. Which is unfortunate, because Bubba and I were talking and he can't really plan for anything, you know, like he can't really plan to do anything. Not that he says he does anything anyway, but, like, you know, he knows when everyone else in the house works, and he wants to be able to, like, plan with them. Mm-hmm. And then we also talked about how if I don't have consecutive days off in a week, he won't be able to, like, have the pain relief of, so the rest of the people in this house don't know, so don't say anything to them quite, but my brother does smoke. He does get high every once in a while. Like, he doesn't do it regularly, but, like, every once in a while when he's really in pain, he'll get high and it'll make him feel better. But he's very, like, safety conscious, so he won't get high if he has anything to do the next day. Mm-hmm. So, like, if he has to drive me to work the next day, he doesn't get high the night before. So, unless I have, like, consecutive days off or something, it's kind of hard for him to, you know, have that day to get high, and then the next day to kind of, you know, like, simmer down and, like, get settled into it again before he has to drive me to work again. And so, like, I don't have consecutive days off this week because I asked for Sunday off so I could come over here. And then I have an appointment on Wednesday, so I needed to have that day off. So, but since I got the full-time job, like, now guaranteed full-time hours, which helps as a paycheck, but it also makes it harder for me to have, like, days off with him. Like, so it's a little unfortunate, and gas is always a factor, because, like, I'm literally making the trip pretty much 4 times every time I work, because since it's getting to be the winter time and everything, I can't drive pretty much any time before 7:30-ish. No, probably earlier than that, because daylight saving started. But I can't drive any later than, like, 5. Right. So, unless I work, like, morning shifts until it starts getting sunsetting even later, I won't be able to get all the hours that I need. So he has to drive me to work pretty much every day. Well, he does have to drive me to work every day because my shifts generally always end after the sun goes down. And so I'm not able to work. So he drives me there and then drives home. And then he drives there to pick me up and then drives home.
So yeah, he's making double the trip.
Yeah, we're doing double the trip and everything. So that's quite a bit of gas.
Right. And just to remind you, everything that like you say here is confidential.
Oh yeah, I don't even know.
I just want to make sure that you know that. So
I do know that.
Okay.
I do know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to like talking with people in the scope of not necessarily like
of course,
patient confidentiality.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, I gotcha.
Okay.
I know it is.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? About, the last 2 weeks or how things have been going?
I do like, I started my new position on Sunday.
Okay.
So it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different from what I thought it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be a little different than what I was expecting anyway. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I knew was probably going to be a little difficult for me is like the whole like not deterring shoplifting the most part, but like when I see a shoplifter, like
confronting
kinda,
them?
No, not like confronting them, like not confronting them as in like I see that you're shoplifting, can you not? More like I have to try and keep an eye on them and follow them and everything, while simultaneously also helping the customers who stop me to ask for help, and while not, letting this person know specifically that I'm particularly following them.
Right, so kind of balancing your responsibilities and not giving yourself away necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unless we know, have on camera and things that they've taken things, it's kind of like we can't really follow next to them. Like yesterday, there was this kid who apparently had come in twice earlier in the week, and he wears a hoodie and a backpack, and he walks around the aisles and everything and takes something and then leaves. But so there were a couple of us trying to keep an eye on him and everything, and because he just is really jittery and everything as he walks through the store, just
suspicious.
Super suspicious. And so he walked out, and then Kat walks after him, and he apparently, not to apprehend him or anything, just to kind of see which way he goes and everything to see. And he sees her bolts. So we know he pretty much got something. And so Madison, the boss, said that he told me that the next time he comes in, I can pretty much just follow right next to him, blatantly follow him, and to let Madison know, and if he has any questions, we're like, dude, you bolted last time. We know you got something.
Right.
You ran. So we'll be able to do that if he comes in again.
Okay.
But there was this guy last night, and they told me when I came off of my lunch break that he has been known to take things in the two aisles that I was working in and everything. And so I was trying to, keep an eye on him and everything, because the guy he was with was waiting in line at the pharmacy, so he was kind of walking back and forth and coming and going, and, I kind of had to sort of pretend I wasn't keeping an eye on him. We would talk and we would have conversations, and it was good to kind of banter around with him and everything. It was interesting. I'm pretty good at shooting the shit. Being customer service oriented in my conversations with people, but I think he kind of possibly knew that I was following him. Sort of, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to get better at this, but yeah, I was keeping an eye on him. But then someone asked for my help, and the main reason I'm there is like for customer service on the floor. So I had to like stop and help that person. And then when I looked around, he was walking out of the store, and so I was thinking, oh shit, he probably got something. And so I went out the front and looked over, and he was sitting in his car, which I'm assuming he was waiting for his friend, but it didn't have a front plate. It was a black car, and
So cute.
yeah. And so I went back and talked to Kiera, who was the manager on duty, and said, hey, is your car parked on the side? Yeah, what kind of car is it? It's a Honda, whatever the heck, I can't remember. And she says, why? I said, I'm going to go pretend it's my car and see if I can get that guy's plate. So, it's a North Carolina plate. I know the plate number. But, like, as I was walking back, like, I stopped by her car and was, like, looking in it and then, like, shuffled in my pockets and, like, shit. And then I walked back and I was, like, muttering to myself and I was like, and then I kind of, like, rubbing my arms and everything because it was dark and it was cold. And so then I stepped up on the curb and purposefully stumbled a bit. Like, I purposefully kind of let my shoe slip from the edge of the curb and stumbled a bit. And he rolled down the window. He says, don't hurt yourself now. And I was like, yeah, I'm alright. It's just really freaking cold. And I come up here trying to get in my car. And I, left my keys inside. But I always keep my key in my front pocket. And, this is why I never just say, I'm going to put something in a special place to remember where it is. Because I'll bet you that's what I did. Is I put it in, like, a special place in my purse. And it wasn't in my front pocket. And it's freaking cold out. And so I said, you have a good night, though. And I walked inside. And then, pretty serendipitously, the guy he was with was, had just come away from the pharmacy and was walking out to, go towards the car. So hopefully they left before it was suspicious enough that I didn't come back out with my keys to get in the car. But I needed to get his plate just in case. And I forgot to look it up, but I need to look it up if in North Carolina it's legal to not have a front plate. Because in Maryland you have to have front plates and back plates.
Right.
And it is in Texas too. But I don't know about North Carolina. Because if it's not, then I'm wondering if it's like purposefully doesn't have a plate on it or something. I'm not sure. We'll see. I don't know. But that's kind of like a difficult part of it. And I get to help people find things and everything on the floor. And so that's nice. But it's also kind of a little difficult to get the things done that I need to get done during my shift. While also, like making the rounds around the store. Making sure things are still how they're supposed to be. Kind of keeping an eye on the movements of people around me and everything. It's just kind of taking a lot of, concentration and like awareness and everything. So I'm trying to do that. I need to figure out a way to find some earplugs or something that are, like I do have earplugs. I've got those foam earplugs. But they're kind of not exactly how I need them to be. So I'm trying to look for things. I kind of want to, like, an anti-hearing aid. I know it sounds like it would be an earplug, but you know how earplug, like hearing aids, you can take certain frequencies and stuff and like make them higher to adjust.
Right.
Like I need those backwards.
Right.
I need to like be able to block
Yeah.
out certain frequencies.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
I don't think that those exist.
I don't think they do either. It'd be nice, but I don't think they do.
Now that you've identified that there's a need for that, you should make it and become a millionaire.
See, but that requires a lot of knowledge of
Right.
biology, neuroscience, kind of electricity.
It sounds way too complicated.
It does.
Yeah.
And I'm just like super not ready to put in that much work into schooling to learn how to do this shit.
Right.
When I couldn't even go to school to do stuff that I thought I wanted to do.
So, yeah. Oh, and it went dark again. During last session, you brought up, the stress and kind of difficulties with your roommates. Have things gotten any better or the same?
Yeah. It's kind of a... I don't know, it's a little, strange kind of navigating it. Like last time I told you, did I tell you about Amber doing the dishes and everything?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, the night before last, Bubba asked me if I would do the dishes, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And so, I did the dishes while in between making us some mac and cheese with beans and hot dogs, because it's the best.
Hey girls! Hey Jess!
Hey Lana!
How are you?
We're alright, but we're doing her assignment.
Awesome, Professor.
And so after I was done making the food and everything, and I had eaten a bit, and he had eaten, I was like, would you be overly upset if I just finished the dishes when I got up in the morning? Because I had done most of it. Like I loaded a lot of the dishes, and there were just few things that needed to be loaded again.
We
and
got some work to do. It's either the dogs, or Mira, or perks of a big family.
Oh yeah. I live with a big family. I don't think she closed the door all the way. I didn't hear it close.
No, she might be coming back down.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he said, are there, I said, I can get up in the morning before work, and he said, well, are you going to get up before? I said, yeah, I'll get up before work. He said, no, I mean before Amber goes to work. I was like, what? He says, well, seeing the kitchen and the dishes and stuff, like, messy and everything just stresses her out, and, it's not a big thing to do to, help with that, and I was like, okay, fine. And so I got up, and I went to go finish, and then he's like, what? I said, okay, don't contribute to a problem that's going to stress you out. If the dishes stress her out, the dishes being dirty and the kitchen not being clean, when she makes food, or she brings her dishes to the sink at least, she can rinse them out. Or at least clean the pots off the stove. Or at least clean up the food that gets put on the counter, like that gets dropped on the counter. No, she just does what everyone else does and just sticks it next to the sink or on the sink and just doesn't clean up anything. And I'm like, I don't think you're allowed to get upset about something if you're exacerbating the problem.
Right.
I don't think that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be different if she was constantly actively doing her part,
Yeah.
and then everybody else wasn't,
Mhm.
and then she was stressed or upset about that. But, I mean, if you're not,
Yeah.
keeping up your part, yeah, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm. So,
A little bit annoying.
especially since we just had a huge fruit fly problem in the house. It was awful. Yeah, they were freaking everywhere.
Oh gosh.
The only reason they weren't in even Amber's room is because their room constantly smells like either incense or weed. Yeah, and fruit flies apparently don't like that, which is understandable. But I didn't particularly want the rest of the house to smell like incense or weed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you brought up last session about, the smell of weed coming in through your room and how that bothered you.
Yeah.
Is that still an ongoing problem?
Amber did buy a candle to burn in the living room.
Okay.
Which was nice. I did appreciate that. For when, they start smoking and everything, I can, like, if I'm gonna be in the living room or whatnot, I can light the candle and it helps. Like, the candle itself doesn't super smell like anything, but it burns up the weed smell in the air, which is what I need. And so, like, when I go into my room or something, I'll blow the candle out. And I'll light a candle in my room while I'm in there until about when I go to sleep. And I'll blow the candle out. It's not a weed candle, but it's the smell in my room is faint enough that it doesn't need to be a weed candle. So, like, any candle will work. And I'll blow it out when I go to bed. Okay. And generally I'm asleep before anything could come into my room. I haven't verified if they have been closing their vent, but it's also getting to that point in time in the year where it's kind of hard to have your window open all the time.
Right. Yeah, especially with the temperature dropping. Yeah, and I mean, you can't, force them and check up on them to make sure that they are closing their vent. But at least the candle is, something you can do to help.
And it was nice of her to buy that candle.
Yeah.
So I did appreciate that. But
well, I mean, it does seem like she made a little bit of an effort.
Yeah, she did, and I appreciate that. She did make an effort to help with that.
I mean, that's definitely better than what you were talking about not last week, 2 weeks before, but last session.
It is.
I mean, any improvement is improvement. So, 1 second. Let me drink some water.
I was pretty freaking stressed on Wednesday when I missed my appointment because, you noticed that my phone wasn't in service.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's because I had like $1.50 in my account. And so on the 31st, Bubba put $1,000 in my account for me to write a check for us to pay rent with. And so I wrote the check, gave it to him. He dropped it off on the 31st. And they didn't cash it until, like, the freaking 4th or the 5th.
Okay.
So the 5th, we got a notice in the morning. Yeah. So I got charged an extra $29 on my check for it being bouncing. And then we got charged like a $64 late fee for our rent being late.
That's definitely
So
frustrating and stressful.
I was very pissed, and I was very
Yeah.
irritated because Bubba asked to borrow $200 from Eve, and so we could like pay it and everything. But it was unfortunate that I had to cover the late fee and everything, so it was like an extra $100 I didn't want to spend. So it's a really darn good thing that I got the new position that I did.
Right.
Because if not, definitely would not have been able to cover my bills this month. Because I also found out that I still owe another $250 to the people who fixed my car. So, yeah, that's an extra $450 right there. And then I had to borrow money from Bubba to fill my tank. And so that's another like $50 along with the money that I borrowed from him to pick up some like groceries just for me, not like for the house as a whole. And then there was the $20 that for some frickin' reason he got in a check to give to me when we went to the bank and everything to pay the bill for the rent, to get a cashier's check and then give it to them, because he was actually still kind of high that day.
Yeah, that's definitely stressful, being given those unexpected expenses, especially when you're already having a hard time with the finances. But at least, with the raise in the new position,
Hopefully it'll help.
hopefully it'll help with some of that. Yeah.
I'm still super not looking forward to taxes, because I'm definitely going to have to pay into taxes next year.
Do you know, like, about how much you're gonna have to owe?
Probably a couple thousand.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, because I think I told you last time that when I applied for my health insurance, I didn't have a job. Yeah, now I do have a much better paying job. And still was an idiot and didn't report it. Because I knew that I wouldn't have been able to cover my health insurance bill with what I was making anyway. So yeah, that's fun.
Just a kind of off-topic question. Have you applied for disability through Social Security? Because if you do get approved, then you could get Medicare for free.
The Medicaid?
No, Medicare.
Medicare.
Yeah, Medicare. It's for anyone 65 and older or disabled. And bipolar is a disability. As long as you have, you just give them all your medical records and they verify that you legitimately have bipolar disorder, and then you can get, if you're not working, they can give you, I think it's somewhere around $800, $900 a month, which might actually be helpful for Kenny. But if he applied on his own, but then within 2 years after it processes, then you're eligible for Medicare for life.
Yeah. He, like with me, $800, $900 a month would not cover all of my bills, but like he gets disability from the military. But I make too much money.
Right. It's more for like having to stop work because of your disability.
Exactly.
Then that's when the money would kick in. If you make more, if you're making any amount, then you don't get the I guess
amount,
you don't get any of the money, but you do get Medicare, which helps a lot of people. I know it's not necessarily the best health insurance option, but it can definitely help.
Yeah, it's true. Definitely could help.
Something to just consider. I know that it's helped some other people who have bipolar.
Yeah. That was an interesting sound.
Yeah, I think that was the dogs.
Yeah, that definitely was the dogs.
Okay. Hold on. Alright.
So, just kind of... We actually were looking into me applying for disability when I was still living with my family in Texas, because I was making quite a lot less money.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my intestines. Gotta love that. It's just, I don't know, some part of me just really doesn't want to apply for disability because, I don't know, I guess it would help in some ways. If anything, if it happens again, what happened last year, because I was out of work for a good long while.
Right.
Into the hospital, which is expensive.
Sure. Yeah.
So freaking funny. Just the whole, like, mental health, like, institutionalization type thing, you know. Yeah, you're so stressed about your life that you tried to kill yourself, and so we brought you here in this hospital to make you feel better, and then we release you out into the world and slap you with a bill for about $20,000. So...
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely...
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, let's just make you even more stressed. Because that's so fun. Yeah. So, I am about $70,000 in debt. With my credit card and my student loans and my medical bills.
Wow. It's certainly overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like it feels like it was worth it in some ways to have, like, the student loans especially. Because, I mean, obviously didn't get a degree.
Right.
I'm just not meant for 4-year schooling. It's so stressful. And, I mean, I know a lot of people who have, like, bipolar disorder can do it. It's just one of those things that's really triggering for me. You know, just schooling. I don't like learning in a classroom setting. I like learning.
Right.
I don't like learning in a classroom setting.
Yeah, and everyone has their own, you know, learning style and structures of teaching and learning and how it affects them. So, yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. And I know a lot of people who have difficult time, you know, with standardized testing and all of that. You know, it's not necessarily always an accurate measurement of what you've learned, but of what you can memorize. And there's some problems with that. We are at 45 minutes. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or?
I've actually got quite a bit off my chest today, so that's nice.
Did it feel, like, relieving
to
talk
about it?
That's good. I'm glad that this helped a little.
Yeah, thank you. Especially since I missed my counseling session this week with my licensed counselor.
Exactly.
But, you know, sometimes just getting it off your chest helps.
Well, I'm glad it can be a good substitute. I mean, probably not as good as she is.
She's different. You know, she's an
Yeah.
EMDR specialist.
Sure.
So it's like a different form of stress release.
Right.
And that makes me so super tired that I can't even work afterwards. So this is a little different, but it's still nice to get just like talk it out. And I don't have to worry about offending the person I'm talking to.